The Pleasantness of a Religious Life by Matthew Henry, Chapter 2. The doctrine needs no further explication, nor can have any better than our own experience of it. But the chief part of this undertaking is to prove the truth of it, and, oh, that God by me would set it before you in its true light, so as that you may be all convinced of it, and embrace it as a faithful saying, and well worthy of all acceptation, that a godly life is a pleasant life, so as that we may be wrought upon to live such a life. Pleasure is a tempting thing. What yields delight cannot but attract desire. It is next to necessity, so strongly doth it urge. Surely, if we were but fully persuaded of this, that religion hath pleasure on its side, we would be wrought upon by the allurement of that to be religious. It is certainly so. Let us not be in doubt of it. Here is a bait that has no hook under it, a pleasure courting you which has no pain attending it, no bitterness at the latter end of it, a pleasure which God himself invites you to, and which will make you happy, truly and eternally happy. And shall not this work upon you? But we may entertain ourselves and our hearers long enough with discourses of the pleasantness of wisdom's ways, but they will not profit unless they be mixed with faith. Oh, that we would all mix faith with this truth, that we would yield to the evidence of it. To make way for the proof of it, I would only desire two things. One, that you would lay aside prejudice and give a fair and impartial hearing to this cause, and do not prejudge it. He that answers any matter before he hear it, it is folly and shame to him. Proverbs 18:13. Especially if it be a matter of great importance and concern to himself, a matter of life and death. Be willing, therefore, to believe that it is possible. There may be, and then I doubt not, but to make out that it is certain there is true pleasure in religion. You have got a notion, it may be, and are confirmed in it by the common cry of the multitude, that religion is a sour, melancholy thing, that it is to bid farewell to all pleasure and delight, and to spend your days in grief and your years in sighing. And if we offer anything to the contrary, that it is a pleasant thing, and the best entertainment that can be to the mind, you are ready to say, as Ezekiel's hearers did of him, doth he not speak parables? Ezekiel 20, verse 49. Doth he not speak paradoxes? You startle at it, and start from it as a hard saying, like Nathanael when he said, "Can any good thing come out of Nazareth?" John 1:46. So you are ready to say, can there be any pleasure in religion? Believe it, sirs, there cannot but be pleasure in it. Do not measure religion by the follies of some that profess it, but do not live up to their profession, nor adorn it. Let them bear their own burden, or clear themselves as they can. But you are to judge of things, not persons, and therefore ought not to be prejudiced against religion for their sakes. Nor should you measure it by the ill opinions which its adversaries have of it, or the ill name which they endeavor to put upon it, who neither know it nor love it, and therefore care not what unjust things they say to justify themselves in the contempt of it, and to hinder others from embracing it, but think freely of this matter. 2. That you would admit this as a principle, and abide by it, that the soul is the man. This is the postulatum I lay down in order to the proof of the doctrine, and I hope it will be readily granted me, that man is principally to be considered as an intellectual, immortal being, endued with spiritual powers and capacities, allied to the world of spirits, and accountable to the Father of spirits, that there is a spirit in man that has sensations and dispositions of its own, active and receptive faculties distinct from those of the body, and that this is the part of us which we are and ought to be most concerned about, because it is really well or ill with us, according as it is well or ill with our souls. Believe that. In man's present state, the soul and the body have separate and contesting interests. The body thinks it is its interest to have its appetites gratified and to be indulged in its pleasures, while the soul knows it is its interest to have the appetites of the body subdued and mortified, that spiritual pleasures may be the better relished. And we are here upon our trial. Which of these two we will side with? Be wise, therefore. Be resolute, and show yourselves men that are acted and governed by reason, and are affected with things as reason represents them to you, not reason as it is in mere natural man, clouded and plunged and lost in sense, but reason elevated and guided by divine revelation to us and divine grace in us. Walk by faith, and not by sense. Let the God that made you, and knows you, and wisheth you well, and from whom your judgment must proceed, determine your sentiments in this matter, and the work is done. Now I shall in the first place endeavor the proof of this doctrine, by showing you what religion is, wherein it consists, and what those things are which constitute serious godliness. And then you shall yourselves judge whether it be not in its own natural, in its own nature, pleasant. If you understand religion aright, you will find that it has an innate sweetness in it, inseparable from it. Let it but speak for itself, and it will recommend itself. The very showing of this beauty in its own features and proportions is enough to bring us all in love with it. You shall see the pleasure of religion in 12 instances of it.